voice is so deep. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yes, that's great. It's so good to see everybody here. Wow, I didn't realize we had this many people stay here in this heat. This is great. Who loves the heat? You're lying. It is so good to see everybody here today. We haven't had a community coffee in a little bit, and we're getting a little excited in the office to be with everybody. How's the summer going so far with all the activities? Are you having a good time? Yes? Yes? Okay. All right. Well, we certainly have a nice program here for you today. I am excited because we have been super, super busy. And when I'm busy, things are really good. When I have a lot of time on my hands, I kind of get a little grumpy. So I'm happy that we're really busy. So we've had a busy summer getting some things taken care of and working on some projects. And not only have I been busy, but our board has been very busy. And I would just like to shout out to the board of directors. Thank you so much for working with me this summer and being attentive. You think that they were off this summer, and some of them aren't here, but I've been emailing them. We've been having Zoom meetings, and they've been working very hard. So behind the scenes, everybody's been working very, very hard for the village this summer. Some of the most exciting news that we have is that we do have a new general director, and I am going to be introducing him in just a few moments. But we also have 2 new board members that are going to be joining us with our current board that we have. One you know is Kevin Donahue, and he has been amazing, and he's been stepping up, and he's been working on the development committee with us and working on a lot of our projects. The other person we have is Lonnie Irvine, and he also has rolled up his sleeves, and he's been helping us this summer already. So I want you to know that they're very much all in with the village here, and they are rolling up their sleeves, and we have been working very, very hard, and we haven't stopped working to make this a really great place to live, work, and play. So without further ado, I would like to introduce, and it is my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Jim Fuller to us, and he's going to come up and he's going to address you now. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Good morning. Oh, that was good. I like that. I want to start with a little devotional thought that has been on my mind. It's been on my mind for a while. It sort of got highlighted a few weeks ago when we were at Asbury for Mary Pet's reunion. And I want to start with a Bible verse. It's from Psalm. It's a very familiar verse. You guys will know this. Psalm 103, verses 1 through 5. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, and do not forget any of his benefits, who pardons all your guilt, who heals all your diseases, who redeems your life from the pit, who crowns you with favor and compassion, who satisfies your years with good things, so that your youth is renewed like the eagle. I'm waiting for that renewal part, like the eagle there. Yeah, it's one of my favorite verses. And you find these kind of verses all through the Psalms and even through the Bible, where it talks about how we're to praise the Lord, give thanks to the Lord, worship the Lord. There's a ton of that, and I think we get that. I mean, we get the idea that we need to be praising the Lord. But sometimes I think we get things out of balance a little bit. And a couple of weeks ago, when we were at the Asbury at the Asbury reunion, they did talk a lot about this recent awakening that they had. And of course, some of us who were there in 1970 also talked a lot about the awakening in 1970, or the revival in 1970. Well, one night they had this panel of people up there who were involved this year in 2023, and one of them was a young guy. He was actually one of the people who hung on after chapel had ended. He stayed in the auditorium playing music and worshiping God. And he said something that was really impactful to me. I got on my brain. I don't know if I even heard much else that night. But he said, we didn't stay there wanting anything from God. We stayed there to minister to God. And as a result, God ministered to us. And I was like, whoa. Whoa. I mean, I get chills thinking about that even now. And I thought of what came up to my mind later was, what if we were to develop an agendaless faith? Now I know that anytime you're praying to God, you have an agenda. I mean, we want to get to know Him better or something like that. But what I mean is, if we went to God not expecting to get something from God, but expecting to get God. What if we went to God in order to get God? It reminded me of a story that Dallas Willard told in his book, In Search of Guidance, one of my favorite books. He told about a missionary who was struggling with her prayer life. And she ended up having some difficult life circumstances, and as a result, she learned some things about how to listen to God, how to listen rather than ask and request. And one afternoon or evening, she was having a prayer time with a friend of hers, and the friend was praying, and right in the middle of her friend's prayer, she interrupted her to give a thanksgiving. And I don't know if you've been around when people are praying and somebody interrupts them, but it's always awkward. I mean, you get this, okay, what do we do? And so they sat there for a second in this awkward silence, and then they laughed and they said, you know what? Maybe God is teaching us something about prayer right now. Maybe we're learning something right now. And the missionary said to her friend, instead of each of us making a little prayer speech to God in turn, why don't we talk things over with Him? Include Him in what we're talking about, as we do when we're talking with each other about things. And I just thought, wow, what would that mean for us? What would it mean for us if we didn't go to God with a laundry list of things that we want Him to do, but just with the idea that we want to get to know Him better? We want more of God. What would that mean? Well, I think our list would change. I think our laundry list would change. I think we would spend more time in that with that end goal of getting to know God better. I think more of our time would be getting to know Him rather than getting something from Him. I think we would deepen our relationship with God. I think we'd find ourselves in a deeper, richer relationship, learning to hear Him and recognize His voice in the midst of all those other voices that are out there that are kind of beckoning for our attention. I think we would learn to be silent. That's very uncomfortable. But I think we'd learn to be silent and hear Him rather than having Him hear us. Now, I get it. I get it that there's a time when we need to ask God for things. It's all over the Bible. Jesus taught us that in the Lord's Prayer. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Forgive us. Give us today our daily bread, and lead us not into temptation. Those are requests. He taught us to pray like that. And one of my favorite verses is in Philippians chapter 4, verse 6, where it says, "Be anxious for nothing, but in all things, with prayer and thanksgiving, make your requests be known to God." So we're told request, but that's not the whole story. I don't believe that's the whole story. I think we need to be focused on getting not what we want from God, but getting God. I think that should be our goal. Instead of wanting to know God's will, I think we should want God. And actually, that's my wish for the village. That's my desire, is that we as individuals and as a community would learn this, that would get to know God so well that in and of itself would be a testimony to everybody else of who we are and what we stand for here. Good. That's a good ending right there. Let's pray together, okay? God, we thank you. We thank you so much that we can be in this place together. We thank you for the fact that when you say in your word, when two or more are gathered together in your name, that you're in our midst, that you mean that. And that since we are here today gathered in your name, that we know you're here. We know you're with us, God, and we just really thank you for that. We praise your name. We love you. Help us to dedicate this meeting to you in our hearts and minds. Help us to do what you want us to do, to say what you want us to say, and help this to be a time of clear communication. We commit this time to you and to your glory because we love you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, I am excited to be a part of what's going on at Wesleyan Village. Now, we're newbies here, really. I mean, when you think about the scope of time that it's been around, that the village has been around, we have not been here very long. We will have completed 4 years in September this year, and up until this time, I've been known around the village as Mary Pat's husband. And actually, I'm okay with that. That's a good thing. I'm an introvert, and so not being up here can be really intimidating sometimes for me. But anyway, that's been the thing, and that's okay. I don't mind that. But I'm really excited to be in the position I'm in. It's not a position that I sought after, by the way. It's kind of like Moses in the burning bush. And I'm like, no, not me. No, somebody else. I'm sure there's somebody else. How about you? And yet I felt at a point in time that God sort of tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, this is something I really like for you to do at this point. And so ever since that time, I've been pretty excited about being involved and being a part of the happenings in Wesleyan Village. And I just wish that I had that rod that I could throw on the ground and do miracles like Moses did after the burning bush incident. There are good things happening, too. There's a lot of good happening in Wesleyan Village, and there are a lot of challenges ahead of us. I mean, we have a lot of things that need to be done. Now, those things, and I was thinking about that this morning, and those things are not mutually exclusive. Just because you have good things and challenges doesn't mean that challenges are the negative and good things are the bad. Sometimes the challenges actually are the really good things that are just down the pike. And that's what we're headed for, is to meet the challenges and go down the pike and find the good things that are at the end of those roads. We have a great board. We talked about that. They have been so willing to be involved. I think I've gotten pretty much 100% participation with some evos that we've had to do, and that's just a miracle in the summertime. We're not even all here. I mean, we've got, well, I don't mean that mentally. I mean that, this being my last meeting with the board. We do. They're dedicated to God. They're willing to work for this community. They love this community, and so you've elected a really good board. That's those, including those going off the board and including those coming on the board. It's a really good board. We have a great staff led by Melissa and others that do significant work all the time. They're dedicated to God and really love the community. Spend more time over here than they should, given the hours that they're being paid for. I know Gary's going to hate this. He's shaking his head already, but I'm going to say I can't thank Gary Harris enough for the work that he did to get the governance manual to the place where it is, so that we can move forward from here. You don't even know. I mean, we're talking about this big that he worked out over 3 years of volunteer work. That's amazing. And absolutely. And I wouldn't have wanted to step into this position if that hadn't been done, because I've done those things before in previous jobs, and it's not easy work, and I just really appreciate that. And I can't begin to express the magnitude of my gratitude to Gary for all that he did here. Now, like Melissa said, there's been a lot of significant ground covered in the last month and a half since I stepped into this, and there's a lot that needs to be done. You all know that the pool is being redone and will open soon, and that is a great. And we've had meetings, numerous meetings on the wastewater treatment plant and things that need to be happening there, and meetings about the building expansion, the residences that will be built, both on Good Shepherd and Epworth and other things that can happen. There have been meetings about the upcoming budget year and how that's going to be handled. We've had discussions about certain challenges that pop up. There are always challenges that pop up in a community like ours. Daily, I think you would say, in the office, and we have discussions and meetings and phone calls and emails and texts about those things. And honestly, what Melissa said about things don't stop in the summer could not be a truer statement. This has been the busiest summer that I've had in a long time, and a lot of it has to do with Wesleyan Village. And that's a good thing. I mean, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, because it doesn't slow down even very much. It's been lots of things we've done. And things I'd like to see happen, and I'm sure that you would too, and one of those is better communication. Now, whenever you say that is a kind of a negative reflection on anything that's happened before. But did you know that I've heard anyway, that there's never been an evaluation of an organization that better communication didn't come out as a goal for the next step. It always is that way. There's always going to be something that falls through the cracks. You do the best you can, you try to cover all your bases, and yet something seems to fall through the cracks. And we're going to do our best to have that not happen, but it just might. And I'm sure that in 3 or 4 years or whatever, if there's another evaluation done, you'll say we need better communication, because it always comes out. It's always a part of any survey that you do. One of the things we want to do to have better communication, though, is have town hall meetings. This would be like a day or two after the board meeting, where we meet, probably in here, and have the board present and have you come and we'll tell you what happened at the board meeting, and then let you ask any questions or make any comments that you have about that. And we'll give you 3-4 minutes to do that. No, I'm kidding. We'll probably have an hour for that to sort of process the board meeting. And this is actually a pretty effective way of letting you know exactly what the board talked about, and then have you respond to it in close proximity to the board meeting. I'm not talking about like 3 or 4 months later. I'm talking about like 2 days later, after 1 or 2 days later. And then we also want to have informational meetings, because there are big things happening. I mean, we need to have something done about the wastewater treatment plant. And so we need to have a meeting so that you understand all that's happening and all that needs to happen and what our options are. We can lay out the options for that. But we need to talk more about the expansion projects and what that means and how that's going to be handled. And by the way, we've been hearing about the building on Epworth and on Good Shepherd, and I don't want to make any promises, but it looks like you should see something soon. Okay? All right. I'll leave it at that. Okay. And then my other thing that I'd like to see happen, which is kind of takes us back to the devotional, is I'd like to see us all get, individually and as a community, a deepening sense of who we are as a Christian retirement community. That's a different entity in the world, and we need to understand our identity in that respect. And I really hope that we can do that. And I want to do my best to help that happen. That's one of my real intentional goals of being in this situation, in this position. I want to get to know you better. We came at a very unfortunate time, because right after we came, COVID hit, so 2 years went by and we hardly got to know anybody, couldn't meet in meetings and things like that. And then we were away for a good bit of time the next year when Mary Pat's, both of Mary Pat's parents passed away that year. And so we really need to have some time to get to know you. And so if you want to email me and set up a time to meet, if you have comments or lists, I've heard about lists that are out there that people want to talk about, and I'm willing to talk to you about that. But I have to let you know that I really believe in group process. I'm a real firm believer in group process. So most things that you talk to me about will have to go to the board for discussion and decision before anything can be done after that. But I really don't mind at all taking time to talk to you. about things like that. And I do thank you for this opportunity. Mary Pat and I love living in Wesleyan Village. I may not raise my hand when Melissa says, do you love the heat? But if she said, do you hate the cold, that'd be right there. And yeah, Bill said that at the table. And so we love being here, and I hope we can all work together over the next time to make this the best of all places ever to live. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's going to be a real exciting couple of years with a lot of the projects that are going to be happening. I do want to say that early this morning at about 6 o'clock, I got a message from the developers of the signs that are going to be going out in the next, he told me 2 days of the townhomes. So when you drive around the village, make sure you're looking up and you'll see the signs that are going to be out. And they're also going to put signs on the spec home that'll be on Epworth as well of what the new homes are going to look like. I'm a little bit remiss in not mentioning, I want to thank everybody here. Everybody that is here. You have done such a fabulous job checking on your neighbors and your friends. Everybody has been working super hard in helping to get people who need to get to doctor's appointments, surgeries, food, love, and I just appreciate that so much. I've had to have several hard conversations with several families about some individuals that are becoming less independent. And in the meantime, while the families are trying to figure all this out, you all have stepped up as good Christians and really have helped and filled into the gap before the families could get care. So I so appreciate that. It's so refreshing to know that we have such a loving and giving community that takes care of our own. So thank you so much for that. I also want to encourage you to look outside the walls of Wesleyan Village. There's a lot of need out there just down the road from us. I know a lot of you work with Jericho Road Ministries, and there's a lot of different things that you do. But there's still a lot of need just right here immediately, right outside our walls. And as good Christians, it is our responsibility to share the love of Jesus Christ with everybody. I'm sitting on a new committee with the South Brooksville Initiative where they need grandparents to read to children. I said, well, I know where a whole bunch of grandparents are. So in the next couple of months, that'll be coming down the pike that I may have some asks that we may have to bring some children to maybe come on campus with us and we can read with them. So those are some of the things that I'm working on outside of the Wesleyan Village on my free time as I do my own part in sharing the love of Jesus Christ with everybody. And thank you to everybody here who helps me to do that and keeps me centered. So thank you. Now we're going to move on to the staff and community updates. I would now like to bring up the very busy Deb Sheehan to talk about the activities that we have. And let's give her a nice big round of applause for Food Truck Friday.
So, today is Food Truck Friday. And thankfully, about a half an hour ago, I found someone for entertainment tonight. Major is going to perform, but we're going to move inside. The temperature is supposed to be like 94 with 90% humidity, so I think it'll be too warm to be outside. But the food truck that we have is Moroccan Mediterranean and the ice cream bar. The Moroccan Mediterranean food trucks menus are over at the Philippi Center if you're interested in seeing what kind of food they serve. I am still looking for more entertainment for our Friday night food trucks. The volunteer who was going to help me schedule all of those has a prior commitment and won't be able to help this summer. So I'm looking for volunteers, musicians, or suggestions on who we can get to entertain at all of our Food Truck Fridays. I have food trucks scheduled right through October until the dining hall opens. We just need some music. Lunch Bunch. I'm also looking for a Lunch Bunch coordinator. Barb and Dave are unable to do that right now. This Wednesday, we're going to Cody's, but we're going to go to the one on Spring Hill. So if you're signed up to drive, double check the address over at the Philippi Center so that you're going to the right location. Don Bone has offered to drive the bus, and I will be driving the van. Come the month of August, because of not having enough help to do everything, you see on your calendars, I've rolled back the lunch bunches and the food trucks to be on opposite weeks. So Friday the 4th will be a food truck, Wednesday the 9th a lunch bunch, then the 18th a food truck, then the 23rd a lunch bunch. That way I'm only involved in one major activity for the week, in addition to everything else. In the month of August, I'm looking at going to the Inn on the Gulf in Hudson for one of the lunch bunches, and to go to St. John's River on a dinner cruise for the other one, but I haven't confirmed which dates will be which events. And for all of you who have been asking about the free table, it will be coming back next week. Cindy Bowman will be the volunteer that will be responsible and working with me on that. And it will be located in the old computer room. Do not drop off anything until after next Tuesday, when Cindy and I have been able to go through and get the room prepped and ready for it, but that'll be coming back. You're talking about the pool, right?
Yes.
So that's, any volunteers, any help, any suggestions, let me know. One of the food truck nights, one of the suggestions for entertainment was to do an open mic night. We do have our own sound system that we could use to do that, but I would need a volunteer to help coordinate that. So that's another idea. If anybody's interested, let me know. And I will be going on vacation in August. That's also on your calendar, so get to me before then. Thanks.
Thank you, Deb. You've done a great job keeping us all busy this summer, and all the unique things. We do need volunteers, so step up to help us. If, a lot of hands make light work. I think that's what they say. I also want to mention under the activities department that we had an intern here. Carissa was with us for the summer, and she has ended her time with us. We had an amazing visit with her. She did so much with Deb in Deb's department, and she did a little bit of stuff in resident services with John. And one day I saw her riding around in the golf cart. You probably have too, and she was cleaning out gutters. And I kind of chuckled to myself, and I said, you know what? Your future husband's going to thank us. And she said, what? I said, yeah, your first house, your husband's going to say, hey, we need to clean those gutters. And she's got, honey, I got this. I had this internship once where I learned how to clean out gutters. She was phenomenal. She was from Indiana Wesleyan University. Dynamic. She loved everybody here. Her grandmother's here, so where is she? If she stands, we might not see her. Yes, proud grandma, and she came to us through her and Julia. We really appreciate that. So thank you so much. We did ask her to go back and talk a lot about Wesleyan Village because we could use more interns. So come on down next summer. Next, we're going to bring up our property manager, Teresa, who's going to give us an update on our properties.
Good morning. What I usually do here at this is just introduce the new people. So it'd be since April from our last meeting, right? April to now. So I'll go through them. I know probably a lot of them aren't here, but we'll give it a try. Is Barbara Parker here? Such a sweet lady. You guys need to meet her. She bought down on 22403 Victory. And she lives by herself, and she really wants to get involved, so that's good. Scott and Susan Jager, are they? Yay, yay. Stand up, stand up. Yes.
Oh, you gotta stay standing.
They were in the RV section and they bought down on Laneport.
You have to talk.
Hey, he's a talker anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, where do you come from?
Vermont originally.
Yes. They came together from Vermont.
We've been in Hernando for almost 30 years now, something like that. So
Awesome. And what do you do?
I'm a missionary with the Christian Contractors Association and trying to retire.
Awesome, awesome. And we already know what you do because you're the boss, I'm sure, right?
I try to keep them under control.
Okay, great. Well, awesome. It's so great to have you guys here. Thank you. And he's a part of our team, so he's on our resident service team and our maintenance team with John. So.
And Bob and Phyllis Adams, I know they're not here, they bought a life lease on Victory. Bob works for the village also when they're here, so they'll be coming probably sometime in the fall, I think. Fern and Sherry Brummel. Are they here? Oh, okay, stand up, stand up. I mean, they're not new to us, but they did buy a new place, so.
So even though we're familiar with who you are, tell us how you like living in your new place.
Oh, we're loving it. We love the location, and we have great neighbors. And yes, it's beautiful. Watching the sun come up every morning is awesome out on the Lanai, so it's pretty awesome.
Excellent, excellent. And you? Do you feel the same?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, it's great to have you with us, and thank you for buying in the village.
Okay, next is Carol Lawson here today. She bought down on St. Mark. Okay, I don't see her. Dick and Connie Thompson. I don't think they're here either. They bought down on Victory. Richard and Beth Pocock, I don't think I've ever introduced you, so I know he's back here, they're back here, so. They bought down on Victory also.
I'm coming. I should have my roller skates on today. Hello, welcome, welcome. And where do you come from?
Well, most recently from North Carolina.
Yeah.
The guy.
For 43 years.
Oh, very good.
Oh.
I grew up in Houghton College.
Oh, he goes by Rick. Okay, all right, welcome. And so how do you like living in the village so far?
Yeah, it's all right.
Welcome, welcome.
And Melissa, stay right there, stay right
Very
there.
good.
Because Don Szabo, is your wife here? Well, they bought, I don't think I've ever introduced them, even though he works for the village, so everybody probably knows who he is. But they bought on Victory also.
Well, you said Don, and I don't know who Don is, but I know who Dewey is.
I know.
So Dewey, where do you come from?
Ohio.
Oh, that state. Is it better?
Yeah.
So how do you like living here?
Well, we love it. We love it.
Even though you work here?
Yes.
Are you going to stay employed with us?
Sure. You can fire me.
That's not funny. Thank you so much for being here, and we love having you and your wife here.
And I'm sure everyone's aware of the new modular that's going in. Yeah. Wanda Bascom, we will get her in there pretty soon, we really will. But Wanda, stand up, because she's new to our village.
Stay standing, Wanda.
I need roller skates. Well, hi, Wanda. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Hey, Wanda, I saw your house come in two pieces, and I was really panicking. I didn't think they would be able to make that turn. Did anybody else feel that way?
Yes.
Did you see that thing come in?
Not only that, they backed it. They had to back it all the way back because they couldn't get the swing in. I'm thinking, oh dear Lord, they're going to hit mailboxes, they're going to hit people's homes, but they didn't. I mean, they're fantastic drivers.
That was amazing. Yes. Well, thank you so much. And where do you come from?
Well, I came from Clearwater, Florida, long ways away, but originally I'm from upstate New York, right by Houghton, New York, Fillmore, New York. So that's, and my sister, I like to drag her into this because, you know, she's the eldest of the family. I don't want to boast that I'm the better looking one of all of us. I love her, I don't know where she is, but I hope she didn't say that. Oh, well, I'll be in trouble later. Oh, she stood up. Well, so, okay, I guess that's it, right?
Okay, well, we love having you here, even though you're not in your house yet, but soon, right?
No, but can I make just one comment? How wonderful, truly wonderful, you guys all are, not just to me, but to one another. And I want to thank you because you've accepted me, you've loved me into this wonderful, wonderful family. And guess what? I didn't know I needed it until I got here. So I thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. Like Melissa said, hopefully our townhouses will be starting pretty soon. Maybe we'll see that big sign in the yard that shows what they're going to do. We can only hope and pray. And just a reminder, if you're planning on selling, it's probably be a great thing to do if you did a pre-inspection to give you an idea of what kind of shape your place is in. And as a reminder, we have Carmela and Marcia Quascut that live right here in the village, and that's what they do for a living. I have flyers about that. I have flyers about the new townhouses. If you're interested, just let me know. At the present time, we have like 12 properties up for sale, so look around. If you know anybody that's looking, have them give me a call. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Teresa. I know it's really weird for everybody to stand up, but you know what? That's how we get to know your neighbors, so thank you for playing along with me. Along with the property management department, you know, we are all brand ambassadors for Wesleyan Village. You know, when we're out at our churches or Dairy Queen or wherever it is you go, wear your name tag, wear it proud, so people ask you what's Wesleyan Village and what's it all about. We want to attract more people just like us to come and live at the village. Also, I want to caution you that when you're on social media is a marketing tool that we use to attract people. Believe it or not, we know how many hits we get on our Facebook page for people just looking and seeing what Wesleyan Village is all about. And when we have positive things and we're happy and we have lots of great pictures of all the great things that we do here and the fun things, that helps people to want to come here. That's what the next generation is doing. They're going right to social media. So I just want to caution everybody that, you know, should you use social media, which I hope that you do, because it's a great tool, let's really keep Wesleyan Village in a really great light and really a great place to live. If you have any issues that you have either with your neighbors or with the staff or with the board, me, please come and talk to us about that. That's not a place to really put that kind of information up there on the channels because, believe it or not, when you put something out on social media and you think you've taken it down, it's not down. It stays up there forever. People can find it. So let's really make sure that we're great brand ambassadors for Wesleyan Village, and let's show people, really showcase to them what it's like to live here, because it really is an awesome place to live. Okay, and you know, I work really hard to have an open door policy, and when my door's not open because I'm not here, everybody should have my cell phone. If there's any issues, please come to me and let's try to get it resolved beforehand. Thank you for that. And next I'm going to call up John Howell, and he's going to give you a little maintenance operations update on things that are going on in the village.
So, Wanda, I really appreciate what you said about the village, because I think you're right. My mother and father-in-law are Richard and Dick and Connie Thompson, right? Richard and Connie Thompson. I don't call him Richard, I call him Dick. There you go. And they came down, they met you guys are too friendly. too friendly, and so now they bought here, and they're moving in, and you will hear all sorts of stories. They've known me for 26 years, 27 I think almost, and so you'll be able to use those as blackmail against me, I'm sure. But I do want to let you know one thing, because this may be the only time I can say this. They've lived in South Dakota for 47 years, South Dakota. My mother-in-law is from California, and what that means is that her sentence to the cold weather is finally over. She has been released. And I want you all to know it was not on good behavior either, right? She had to do her full sentence in South Dakota, so just keep that in mind. How are you guys doing? I asked a question at the very end of the last time we talked here. I haven't heard any stories yet, but I'm excited to hear some maybe. How are you doing in sharing the hope of Jesus with those outside of the village? You doing well with that? I'm trying. It's hard. I've got a neighbor that he likes to grill. I like to talk to him when he's grilling. He hasn't fed me yet, but I'm hoping that will happen someday, right? But I'm working hard on that. I've got some other people in the community I'm trying to build relationships with. How are you doing with that? Right? Because you got two choices. We got the choice of, well, the world it's all falling apart, and I'm just waiting for the Lord to come back. We say, Lord, it's all falling apart. We got to take as many as we can with us. Which side are you on? So I'm thinking about that, and thinking about that in regards to what we're doing here with the maintenance team. We've been working really hard, and we've made a huge transition from incidents where this is breaking, this is breaking, this is breaking, this is breaking, to now moving towards projects. That's a big step. That's a huge step for us to move from everything is emergency, we got to get all these things done, to saying now we can start working on bigger projects. I'm excited about that. Doesn't mean that we don't worry about the little incidents, but it means that now we can start thinking a little bit bigger and broader. Part of that is because we've been able to have some people join the maintenance team in a way that's really exciting and really powerful. You've met Rick and Scott, they stood up, and you met Dewey, and we've got Tom Hines who has joined. We've got some other people that joined this maintenance operations team. We have one young lady who has a service dog I'm really excited to have her here working and doing that. If you see that, thank you guys for not being weird with the new people and staring at them, peeking at them through the windows, taking pictures of them, because that's weird. We know that, right? Thank you for being good on that. Just keep doing that. But I think I'd like to share this with you, with our maintenance team. They do not like any attention. They really don't. Like, they don't mind taking the cookies, right? They don't mind if we feed them, but they don't want any attention at all. They operate off this idea of Colossians 3:23 through 24. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It's the Lord Christ you are serving. I believe that they really embody that. And so when you see the projects that we're doing, the thing we're doing here, they appreciate your thanks, absolutely. But know that they're doing that for the Lord. They recognize that. And I'm honored to have the privilege to serve them and to care for them and to do the best I can to try to keep up with them. Because those guys are, they outwork me every single day. And I run hard, but I can't keep up with some of them. I think one of the things that I'm really excited about is you guys should notice a couple things here. The security lights that we've improved on. We've done some safety things around the buildings. I think that's good. I believe I've gotten rid of all the purple lights, the street lights. Is that right? Are there any more purple street lights out there? Anybody seen them? 2 of them? 2? Well, we'll get those taken care of as well, because that's great. We didn't know those were a problem until they were a problem. So we'll get those taken care of here. We worked really hard on the story apartments in remodeling them. You guys probably won't see those unless you get invited up there, which if you need somebody to know who could get you up there, I know a guy with a key. I can let you in there if you want to see him. We've worked really hard on the pool remodel. And let me say this. The pool remodel was a long time coming, and I have a whole list of jokes about people from Ohio that have scratched up that floor, so that's why we had to replace it. But I won't go into that because I don't want to. Not today, right? But it was Ohio people, I'm sure of it. I think when you walk in there, you'll say, "Oh wow, this is an improvement. These are the things that we're trying to do to make things better." We're also working on several infrastructure improvements related to the roads, the sewers, the water. I do need some help. And so here you go. This is audience participation time here. This is a lid for a sewer cleanout cover, right? If you have one of these in your yard, right? If you're out there wandering around looking for fire ants, right? They seem to find me, but if you're looking for them, right? Look for this. If it is not on your sewer cleanout, please let me know immediately, okay? Because we're trying to get that resolved. There's something that we're working on there. So rather than me snooping around your backyards all the time, maybe you guys can help me with that. That'd be great. Upcoming, we're working on, the next thing that we're going to be working on is trying to get the kitchen all ready for this next season, sanitized, cleaned. We've got the guys in there right now doing repair on the ice machine. We're doing some other repairs that need to be done, so I'm excited about that. How many of you have enjoyed your coffee today? Yeah? Good coffee, right? Those ladies, they come in, those ladies and guys, actually, they come in every morning and they work through that, they get it going. I'm so excited for them because this will be the last time that they ever have to use those coffee makers, right? So you could go over, you give those coffee makers a hug, you can thank them for their service. They are going to be retired. We had a church that generously donated 2 coffee makers for us that are really nice ones, that the next time we have a community coffee, we'll be using those. I'm excited about that. As you know, I had a coffee house in Oregon where I pastor as a church, and so coffee is near and dear to me. And so I'm hoping that this will make life a little bit easier for everybody, okay? And maybe perhaps the quality of coffee might go up a little bit. We don't know, right? And I guess that's it. We're going to take a quick look at the Wessendorf apartments, and we're going to look at some of the technology stuff here. But at the end of the day, I just want to thank all of you for all you are doing to support us. Thank you for your kind words of encouragement. Thank you for the things you see and let us know. Thank you for the concerns that you have that you let us work on. You saw one of the concerns you had was all the washing machines were bad. We got those replaced, which I'm excited about that. And that's how things move. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, John. John and his team work exceptionally hard. You cannot do maintenance and operations in just 4 hours a day. There's many times where John has texted me at 10:30 at night and he's here, or in the middle of the night because there's some alarm going off. So we really should give John a round of applause for all the hard work that he does. I also want to thank the volunteers that came in early this morning. Will you please stand up and be recognized for getting everything ready for us today? Who came in early today to help us do that? Come on, stand up. Yay. We love our volunteers. Thank you. Now, John, I just want to know, with this new coffee thing, will you teach them how to put that cute little heart in the froth of my coffee? Is that what's going to happen?
Those are lattes. This is just drip coffee.
Oh. Darn! That was going to be my latte. Oh my goodness. Well, you can see that we like to have a good time around here too. You know, it's not all just work. We have a really good time. Please stop into the office and see us. We love to see visitors. Caroline is always looking to have conversations with people, and so stop in and see us. Karen, front desk, we have a new phone system. which you may have experienced, where it goes directly to the person and it doesn't go through Karen anymore. So Karen's feeling a little lonely and sad that she doesn't get to talk to everybody. So stop in, and Karen gives candy to everybody. Karen never gets candy, so maybe you want to stop by and give her some candy. I don't know. So I do want to talk a little bit about the pool. I want to thank everybody for your patience with the pool. Originally, we said we would have it down for just 2 weeks. Who said right? Who said right? Okay. So you really want the pool back open, don't you? Yeah. Well, according to our records, that pool has not ever been drained and been resurfaced or anything. And once we drained it out, it really needed a lot of work. So our team did that, and we didn't have to farm that out because we have so much talent here that they were able to do that. Once we did that and we saw how beautiful it is, the rest of it was like, oh, we just can't have it like this. We have to do the floors. The floors came out amazing. We have this new thing. I'm not going to tell you because I want you to go over and see it, but it's pretty cool. Once we did the floors, then we said the walls. Oh, the walls don't look so good. So then we had to do the walls. And then Dewey from Ohio says, Melissa, we have to do something with the ventilation. I'm like, okay. He says, I got to put some ventilation fans in here to take the humidity out so it doesn't destroy the walls and the new floor. And so we had to put those in. And he's pretty amazing because he can put them on a timer because they are a little bit noisy, but they work. Then Dewey says to me, these doors are not going to look good with these windows. I said, now you sound like me when I talk to my husband and I go shopping. I got to have this dress, but then I also have to have the shoes and I have to have the earrings. So thanks to Dewey and the team, we put some new doors in, some energy efficient doors, and you're going to love those. So today, we have a special surprise for you. We have an open house at the pool. So directly following this meeting, I would like for you to go over there and see the incredible work that they have done. It looks phenomenal. Now, the reason why I can't be open to swim in the next couple days is because we have a certified pool operator. When we refilled the pool up and we added the chemicals in, it's dangerous right now. If you were to jump in there right now, your bathing suit would probably disintegrate, and John tells me your hair will turn white. So you don't want to jump in the pool right now. So we want to make sure everybody's good and safe. Now, I know you've been waiting a little bit longer than promised, and I appreciate that, but we need to do it right so that we don't have to buy bathing suits. I don't want to see anybody coming out of the pool without clothes on. And we don't want anybody's hair that isn't white to be white. So we're hoping that Tuesday we can be cleared of this. The CPO operator's been here on site, and he's been working diligently with John and the team in getting that taken care of. But I think it's really important for you, and the guys don't like this, but too bad. I need Dewey to stand up, Rick and Scott to stand up, and I don't think Roger's here. John, was anybody else on that project? Okay, you gotta stand up, guys. You need to stand up. And I know that they don't want to be thanked, but let's thank them. Stay standing. Now, I know that they don't want to be thanked, but these are the people responsible, right here, who said, Melissa, we can't do this. We have to do this, and we have to do that. So thanks to them and their keen eye and all their great talent, when you go over there, you're going to see what I mean. It looks amazing. So thank you so much, guys, for working so hard. And this is our own team of doing this. So let's give them another round of applause. Before I bring Jim Fuller back up here to close us out, I just want to just say once again, thank you so much to the staff that we have. It is such a joy and a pleasure to work with everybody. Thank you, Pastor Morris and Karen, for being great partners with us and working together with us on a lot of projects. And we're looking forward to the future and doing even more with the church and really locking arms together as a community and getting out beyond the Wesleyan Village walls. A lot of people need us out there. It is a crazy world out there, and people need to find Jesus, and we have the way to get them there. I can't encourage you enough to get out there, and when you're out at restaurants, talk to the waiters and waitresses. When you're out at doctor's appointments, encourage people, please. The world really needs that. It's crazy, it's tough. I see it myself. People are not attending church, they're not believing in the things that they need to believe in, and we have the power to change that. Okay, so thank you so much.
I want to bring something up if it's okay. I have a dog, and we go to the dog park, and when they put poison down to kill the ants, it makes our pets sick.
Okay, well, we can address that after this meeting. We have to close out now, but I will make sure that I address that. Thank you very much for bringing that up. And Jim, if you'd like to come out and close us out, thank you so much.
What John didn't tell you is that these coffee makers are retiring and moving into a condo on Good Shepherd. I'd like to close with the doxology. And Major, would you start us on that? Just get us started to sing that.
Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures dear below. Praise Him above the heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Amen.
Thank you. You're dismissed.